Ani Megazay Kwe, Dijnakasma Kwadoram, Beaver Lake Cree Nation, Alberta Dinjaba. Hello, my English name is Melissa. I am currently working with Nuwasa Kendasawantag. I have been kindly asked to share what I know of that cultural traditional knowledge around birthing, that very special time in a woman's life and a family's life. And this is what I would like to share with you. And this is what I've learned. There is so much more out there that can be learned about pregnancy. Traditionally, in many different Indigenous communities. And again, I'd like to acknowledge that there are many teachings, and the teachings may be different from what I'm sharing, and they're all very important. I also would like to say hi, miigwech, and acknowledge that I am on the traditional territories of the Six Nations people, and say thank you very much for allowing me on your traditional territories. So what I would like to share with you about pregnancy is, again, what I know, and about that time when a woman is preparing, and preparing for birth, to give birth to that little one that she's been carrying in her womb, and that sacred womb for the 9 months. And how important this special time is, because there's so much potential in knowing that new life is coming into this world, this realm, from that place with the Creator. And what I was once told was that when a child is conceived, that spirit travels to that womb, and that spirit picks their parents, like chooses their parents. The Creator will ask that spirit who whom they want as their parents. And when that spirit informs or shares with the Creator of that choice, the Creator, it's like a shell or something, that Creator will take that breath of life and go and breathe that breath of life into that spirit in conception. And that little one then is then growing in that mother's womb. And she goes through those 3 trimesters, and then that time will come where she does that nesting and starts to prepare for that little one to come into this world, and that little one choosing that time of when they're coming into this world. And a long time ago, for the Indigenous communities, they had midwives, and they still have midwives today. But the midwives would have been those grandmothers and those great grandmothers, those Nookamis, Kokums, Gichin Nookamis, and they would travel to the different homes of those expecting families, that expecting mom, and at that time when she needed that support to help bring that little one into this world. And it was those midwives, those great grandmothers and those grandmothers, that would do that work. And they say that an important part of our Indigenous teachings and our culture and our tradition is through that oral language, speaking, sharing in that language, sharing those words, and sharing our stories and our experiences. And that is as well at the time of when a mother is expecting that little one, and that little one's coming into this world. Throughout this journey of that conception and pregnancy and birthing, stories can be shared with that mother and her partner on one's life and their experiences they had when they were carrying their children and giving birth. They also have talked about when what has been shared with me is that when that little one is coming through that sacred doorway, coming into this life, that sacred water will break to allow that little one to come in through that sacred doorway, that canal, that birthing canal. And mom will need that support with her by those who love her very much, and to encourage her and to share with her, and to encourage that little one and share with them about this special time, with that potential of that life coming in and sharing with their family a whole new journey. And they say that what happens is there's ceremonies, there's rituals, or songs even, that women would go in and sing that first birthday song to that little one when they come through that special place, through that doorway, and they come out, and what they call is taking that first air, that first breath of life. And so the women will sing um, that first birthday song to that little one, and that's their very first birthday song. And I've also had it shared with me that when that little one comes out crying, taking that first breath of life, that's them singing their sacred song, that first song they have coming out singing, um, and that life of this time that they're coming in. And they also have traditional medicines that can support women when they, through their pregnancy and when they're birthing. And the midwives, those grandmothers and great grandmothers, would have knowledge of those traditional herbs, those plants that would help that mother through that time. And I just want to acknowledge that as individuals as well, each experience, even if we have more than one child, each pregnancy and each birthing is unique to that little one. Um, and so that's why it's important to share those experiences with one another and those stories. I share my three children's birthing stories all the time, and each one of them were so different than the other, the experience. And those moms will need that support and that encouragement. They'll be needing to be encouraged how to be able to control their breaths and understand the experience they're going through, and that love for that journey can be as happy of a journey as possible, to eliminate those traumas as well that can sometimes be experienced. They also talk about that placenta that is in the womb, that provides that nutrients and support for that little one during pregnancy, how that is also birthed by the mother as well after the baby is birthed. And there's ceremonies around that placenta, and how to care for it and why those ceremonies take place. They also talk about the umbilical cord when it comes off the baby. There is also the teachings around um, the moss bag and the Tikanagan, and that life cycle that have been shared with us. They will also share about, and they share about that cedar bath, which is that first medicine, that cedar bath that takes place for that little one, and when they come through that birthing ceremony. And the mother will have to have help too when the little one has birthed and being cared for, and having an understanding of those mothers and those teachings about that breast milk, that sacred medicine as well, that first medicine. And I also had once shared with me that when the baby is born, those grandmothers would take that baby and touch the baby's feet to the earth, an acknowledgement of that our Mother Earth being our first mother. So there's a lot of teachings and ceremonies around birthing and this beautiful experience and the support a mom will need, and then that little one. And what I would like to do is my next video is I'd like to share a little bit about the moss bag and the Tikanagan. But in the meantime, I'd like to say Gichimikwich. That's the new word I learned. And our hi hi. Thank you very much. Be safe and keep well.